Well, we knew going into this ball game with Charleston Southern, the makeup game after the canceled Fresno game during the floods here about a month ago in the Boulder area, the Buffaloes needed some feel-good, and they got it today in a 43-10 win over Charleston Southern on a beautiful day here in the Front Range at Folsom Field. Along with Larry Zimmer, I'm Mark Johnson with your Buffs recap at 850KOA.com. Buffs, or part of the Buffs, needed some feel-good today, and they got some feel-good.
They did get some feel-good. For a while, it was a little questionable. They had that first drive and went down and scored, and they did have a little trouble with that option game, but a couple of long drives by Charleston Southern, but they stopped one of them. One of them ended up in a field goal. The next one did a touchdown, but in the second half, they just made great adjustments, obviously, at halftime. They really stopped things up. I don't know, I think Charleston only had a couple of first downs, 6 drives, 5 of which ended in a punt, and the other one in an interception, a great interception by Jared Bell.
Yeah, the Buffaloes, in fact, pitched a shutout in the second half, 21-0. Colorado has been in dire need of a running game in recent seasons, and today they got it. Over 200 yards rushing, 13 carries, 137 yards, and a freshman record 4 touchdowns by Michael Atkins.
Well, Atkins just gets better and better. He made his first appearance against Oregon State in Game 3, and they were sort of grooming him for that, and he's played more and more each week since then, and today he just had a breakout game against a team that plays pretty good defense.
How about Sefo Lufau? His first start as a college quarterback, 198 yards passing. He was sacked once, had 1 touchdown. But I think from Sefo's standpoint, last week after 2 interceptions, he had the safety, obviously, he gave up on the intentional grounding. Most importantly, there was no big mistakes. You know, a lot of times with the quarterback, you might not ask him to win it, but just don't lose it for a team, and that's what Sefo did today.
That's exactly right. And, no turnovers, and that is a key as far as I'm concerned for a freshman quarterback. And he made a very heady play. We talked about it on the air, Mark, and that was that throw out to the sideline that Nelson Spruce came back and got. I asked Nelson about that, and he asked Sefo after the play, he said, were you trying to hit me or were you just trying to get, he said, either one. He said nobody was going to intercept it, but if you could get back and get it, I was going to put it where you were. Hey, that's a veteran quarterback talking.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The one thing you don't question about Sefo, he's got physical skills, but he's got a great mental approach to the game as well. All right, I don't think anybody's fooling themselves. This was an FCS team they beat today, albeit an undefeated one and a ranked one, but you saw steps forward for the Buffaloes here today. Okay, now it's time to jump back into the deep end of the pool. Next week, Arizona comes in here for a 6 o'clock game. Now you got to take this and use it as a springboard.
Absolutely. And, you've got halfway through the season now. You've got 6 games left, all Pac-12 games. And they'll sit back and say, well, maybe we can get this one, maybe we can get this one, and maybe we can get them all. They probably won't, but that's what the players are going to say, that. But, next week, Arizona, they haven't necessarily set the world on fire, and they have a great running back in Carey, so I think the Buffs defense is going to have to gear up for that. They have a score to settle with that guy from last year, if you remember.
Monster game.
That's right.
So the Buffaloes get win number 3 of the season. They've already had a 300% increase in their win total over a year ago. That's a great step forward, but they'll look to do it again next week. They've got the Arizona Wildcats as they get back into Pac-12 conference play. That is a 6:05 game here at Folsom Field. Zim and Chad and I will hit the air at 4:05 with the Buffalo Stampede on our flagship 850 KOA, and then our network affiliates at 4:35 will join us before the Buffs and Wildcats kick it off. 43-10. Buffalo is now 3-3 in the season. For Larry Zimmer, I'm Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us on our Buffs recap here on 850KOA.com.